Hi everyone, welcome back to Aspergers from the Inside. You're here with Paul. Today's Patron's Choice video is on common miscommunications between Aspies and NTs. So NT stands for neurotypical as opposed to neurodivergent. So if you're on the spectrum, your neurology is different from most people in the population, and if you're not on the spectrum, your brain is wired typically, so hence the term neurotypical, to describe people who are not on the autism spectrum. So today I'm going to share 3 common misunderstandings or common sources of misunderstandings between Aspies and NTs. And so the first one is around misreading body language, and this goes both ways. It could be the person on the spectrum misreading the body language of the other person, or it could be, and this is the one I kind of want to focus on today, is when my facial expressions or my tone of voice or my body language is misinterpreted by someone else. So that's the first one. I'll go into these, I'll explain these in a little bit more detail after I've listed them. So the second one is around alone time, basically meaning if I want alone time, it's nothing personal, it's not intended to be a rejection. Sometimes I need alone time away from the people I care about the most even. And the third one is that it's not about you. And that is around I'm not doing it on purpose, I'm not trying to annoy you, I'm not trying to elicit any reaction from other people sometimes. I'm just doing my own thing and doing what I need to do to cope or survive or regulate my own emotions or organize myself or whatever I need to do. I'm doing it for myself, I'm not doing it on purpose for someone else. So if I go back to the first one around the facial expressions, I remember I once worked with a young woman on the spectrum who had a really monotonous tone of voice, didn't put much tone in her voice, and she didn't have much of a facial expression or expressive body language or anything like that. And to make things even more difficult, she had the most extreme sense of humor and sarcasm and everything that you could imagine. So I had to learn how to understand her because I couldn't rely on the normal kind of cues of body language or tone of voice to indicate sarcasm, for example. And what's really interesting is whenever she'd say something, I'd need to spend probably 3 or 4 seconds in trying to process, was that a joke? Was she being serious? Is she emotional or upset, or is she just messing with me? Most of the time she was just messing with me, right? Which is fun, you know, I eventually learned how to read her behavior and we got along great. But the point here is that you have to really check your assumptions, because misreading body language and reacting to an emotion that's not there, oh, I thought you were tired, so I did this, or I thought you were angry, so I did this, can be a real cause of misunderstanding and miscommunication. And so interestingly, I had to spend an extra processing time trying to figure out what she was trying to express, and this is what a lot of people on the spectrum experience on a daily basis, just trying to interpret what everybody is trying to express through their body language or tone of voice or extra things like that. So the next time you find it difficult to understand someone else, I'm talking to the neurotypicals here, that is similar to what some people on the spectrum go through every day. Okay, so number 2 is around alone time. This can be a very challenging one to negotiate, especially with intimate relationships, because if I need alone time, I'm not rejecting you, I'm not saying I don't like you, I'm not saying I'm sick of you, I just need time by myself to recharge. And often, the reason, I'm speaking for me personally, others might have different reasons, but the reason I need to be alone is because when I'm alone, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to do what I want to do. I can do absolutely nothing or something, or I don't need to question those assumptions, which is very relaxing because I can listen to my body and do whatever my body needs to do to relax, rather than my default state when I'm in society or at work or with other people, where I have to try to do what I'm supposed to do. Now that might be an externally imposed thing of I have to do this because of social reasons, or it could be an internally imposed thing, I have to be working because I'm at work right now, or I have to be awake because I'm at the gym right now, or something like that. So when I'm alone, I can do absolutely whatever I want. And this doesn't mean I don't like you. And in social situations as well, if you've invited me out and I've said no, it doesn't mean I don't want to be invited out. In fact, I really love, I've made it a habit to, whenever I decline an invite, I always say, thank you for the invitation. Please invite me again another time, but I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to accept the invitation this time. Because just because I want alone time now does not mean I want alone time later. So knowing that can be a real help. Okay, third and final one is that very often my actions are determined by my own needs of what I need to do. So like I'm bouncing the ball right now, right? I'm not doing it to annoy you. I know it annoys some people, but I also kind of feel like it's helpful for others to see what I need to do for processing. So I'm doing this because of me. I'm not doing it because of you. I'm not trying to annoy you on purpose. I'm not trying to manipulate you. I'm not trying to elicit a reaction. I'm just not trying to do any of that. And usually in society, it's common to assume a reason or a motive behind a behavior. Whereas the most useful thing for me is if what I'm doing is annoying you, let me know. If what I'm doing is, you're guessing what my motives are, just ask me. It's going to be a lot easier for everyone concerned if you just ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's going to clarify things for everybody. Because otherwise, assumptions are going to be made, and generally those assumptions are not going to be very helpful. One of my biggest pieces of advice when dealing with people on the spectrum is throw all your assumptions out the window. Or actually, better yet, you can keep some assumptions as long as you deliberately check those assumptions. So if I'm bouncing my ball here and you're thinking, oh, do you need to do that for processing reasons? Ask me and I'll give you an answer. Whereas if you assume something, that is probably the worst case scenario because I get judged as something and I don't know why I've been judged, and I don't get told that I've been judged, and I may or may not intuitively pick up that that's happened, and then so I'm going along here thinking everything's fine, but if the misunderstanding has happened without communicating it back to me, that I've offended someone by accident, for example, because they've assumed that I've done it on purpose, then we're going to be talking completely cross purposes, and big miscommunications can happen when you do that. Okay, so I think I might leave it there. They've been 3 really common miscommunications and misunderstandings that can happen between Aspies and NTs. I'd really like to hear what your common misunderstandings and miscommunications are, if you want to leave them in the comments. And if you want to have your say in next month's Patron's Choice video, you can become a supporter of this channel for as little as $1 a month, actually, is the minimum. But to have your say in the video process, I'm encouraging to become a cup of coffee supporter, which is $4 a month, so less than $1 a week. So any little bit helps. Don't worry if you can't support. I'm happy to make free videos, and you will be supporting this kind of content to be free for everyone. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again another time. Thanks. Bye.